Hey, America, how are you? I guess that's the good evening, America, how are you? I want to start with a big important thing. First of all, John Britovo is home, safe and sound. He and Tyler made it back. That's paramount. I'm very pleased with that. I was worried about it a little bit. Ain't no time that driving cross country is easy. Ain't no time it ain't a little bit dangerous. Hello, Michelle. Anyway, yesterday, and I'm going to do one, I'm going to try anyway, to do one of these every day between now and the election. In that, I focused yesterday on all the reasons why Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are better for this country. Why her policy makes a difference. Why the things that she has said she will do are doable and something we should listen to. I just took that last swallow and inhaled about half of it. Maybe that'll help. Anyway, I talked about 10 different things that were reasons that you should probably vote for her. Today, unfortunately, and it's going to be hard not to say his name, I'm going to try not to, or else I'm going to end up real drunk. The orange shit stains, same 10 policies and what he calls a platform, which, by the way, these are the things that he's saying he'll do. We've heard them before. A lot of them shouldn't be done. A lot of them can't be done. A lot of them are just stupid fucking ideas in the first place. But let's start at the same place I started with Kamala Harris, the economy. And right now, that's all about food prices. If anybody hasn't paid attention, that's what's got everybody pissed off. But in 2022, we had a 40-year high in inflation, and that's where the food prices went to hell. We have seen that fall precipitously since then. It is now approaching the 2% mark that the Fed would like to see, and they will continue cutting interest rates, but one of his promises has been to cut inflation and make America affordable again. Well, we have a problem with food. Gas prices are finally getting back down where they should be. Why? Because we are really creating quite a hell of a lot of it. Environmentalists don't like that all much. I guess I have problems with it too. But the simple fact is, you're not going to bring down those prices all that much. And you have to remember that a president can only do so much to actually have an effect on prices. So his promises are falling a little shy. He keeps promising to expand energy production. Well, we are now the overall largest exporter of energy in the world. Okay, expand it, but his ideas for doing that are opening up drilling places in Alaska, which environmentally is not a great idea, and also relying so heavily on oil is not a great idea. All right, so you might have this short-term cut in energy costs, but what is the long-term gain? I'm not seeing it. And most people, the real experts on this, are skeptical that he can do it. That's where we start getting into you promise these things, but legally, how can you do it? I don't think he can. Another thing that he's said that he's going to do is he's going to reduce housing costs, but blaming housing costs on undocumented immigrants getting more mortgages, and he's going to deport them. That's a lie, people. That just isn't the case. Let's think about this for a minute as far as getting mortgages. When was the last time you had to get one? You just came into this country. You're here, according to him, illegally, although a lot of the people he says aren't. And you're going to go get a mortgage. That's not going to work. That's bullshit. That's utter bullshit. The other thing he wants to do is a federal land home building program. Well, gee, there's a good idea. What are our federal lands for? Generally because we're trying to protect them. What a dumb fucking idea that is. The other thing now, let's move on to the next one. Taxes. You know where he's going with this. He has this whole shit ton of tax cuts planned. For you, take a look at what his plans are. He wants to extend what he did in 2017, which just about fucking buried us in debt. And he wants to supposedly simplify the tax code, and that'll promote growth and investment and so on and so forth. Maybe, if you were to simplify the tax code, I'm not totally against that. But all of your tax cuts so far have been to big businesses and really rich people. I haven't seen anything really happen with my taxes except for that little bit of time that was in his original plan. So, that's not going to do any good at all. The big one that he wants to do is he's now talking about a 15% corporate tax area. That's where he wants the level to be, is 15%. We cannot survive with a 15% corporate rate. It's untenable. And please, I've told you this 10 million times, look this up. See what the difference in the economy would be if we were to cut the corporate and rich people level to 15%. That's not going to work. Goodbye, America. But anyway, he wants to go on, and one of the things that he's promising that I think should be done is to remove the taxes from tipped income. Now, Kamala Harris is behind this too, but I want you to think about that for a minute. How much of the real economy does that represent? Now, it's a portion, but it's not a substantial portion. So that's not going to do anything to help overall the American economy. Another one is he wants to take away the Social Security tax, the tax on Social Security payments. Folks, look at that. Look at what the experts have to say about that. It's not going to work. It's what it's going to do over time is to put a great big hole in Social Security funds that are available. How the hell does that benefit me? My wife and I both now, our sole income outside of a little side stuff is Social Security. How's that going to help me? How's it going to help you? Let's talk about his next big one, trade. Global trade in particular. Free trade came to a screeching halt when he was a joke of a president. And his big thing was tariffs on Chinese imports, which, by the way, you paid for. It hurt us tremendously. Having to pay those bigger prices are a big chunk of this inflationary spiral up that we went into. That came in part from his stupid fucking tariffs and trade war with China. Well, now he is calling for anywhere from 10 to 20% on all imports. Folks, the companies that sell these goods do not pay the tariff. The companies that import these goods pay the tariff. What do you think they do with that added cost? You pay the tariff. That's a stupid fucking idea. Now, he also wants to bring up the Chinese import tariff to 60%. Where does he think that's going to help us? Do you realize how big our economy is and how much it relies on Chinese imports? Every part of the industrial sector relies on Chinese imports. That's not going to help us. It's just a thing that when you look at his plans, they aren't going to fucking work. Let's go to the next one. Immigration. His big thing in 2016 was build the wall. Take it a step further, we're going to build this big, beautiful wall, and Mexico's going to pay for it. At that time, President Fox laughed at him and has been doing comedic things since then, laughing at him. Mexico did not pay for the wall, and it did not get built. Another promise he made that was absolute bullshit. His whole thing in sealing the border is to build this supposed wall that is going to make such a difference. Folks, the things we're worried about aren't people coming over a wall. They don't. The drugs that we're worried about don't come over a wall. They come at legitimate points of entry. The same thing with most of the people coming in here are at legitimate points of entry. A wall's not going to change that. It's fucking stupid. He goes from there to mass deportations. Let's think about that for a while. First of all, how are you going to do it? Oh, he's going to use the military. That's not legal. You can't do that way. That isn't how it works. Another one of those things that the laws will get in the way. He's going to remove 1 million people at first. The problems there are something that large, they're going to face a huge legal problem. And then, how are you going to do it? Exactly what are the logistical things that you're going to work out to make it work? You haven't told us anything about that, but we're supposed to vote for you because you're going to build a wall and you're going to take all of those brown people the hell out of here. That's all you've had to say. You want to vote for him for that? I don't. I want to vote against him for that. I already did. Another thing that he wants to do is take away the children of undocumented immigrants would no longer be eligible for citizenship under another policy that he's calling for. That's in the fucking Constitution. If they're born here, they're American citizens. He wants to try to do something with that. And any protections they have right now, he wants to do something about that. Do you remember babies in cages? Do you remember families split apart? What a crock of shit. Now let's talk about the one that everybody should be talking about: women's health rights and abortion. We are going into an election right now, the first one since Roe versus Wade was overturned. We have seen some of the fucking nightmares that has caused. We have seen just how bad saying, oh, let the states handle it, works. It is a fucking disaster. But he says it should be the states that are free to choose. Have we looked at the initiatives in each state that has tried to do something like this, and then the people that understand how fucking stupid it is have put a ballot initiative on there. They've lost every fucking time. The ones that are trying to control women's bodies have lost every fucking time. And they're going to keep losing that way. Because a woman's health rights are her business, not the state's business. We're not talking about here, everybody have free abortions. We're talking about allowing a woman to choose, allowing a woman to have her say be the one that counts. And that's the one that should be there. Now, he's trying to kind of lean on both sides of the fence. His whole, I'm going to protect women. What a joke, you fucking rapist. But he has, one of the things was he criticized the 6-week ban in Florida, but then he went against the law they were trying to put into effect that would get Lales calls. I hate them. But anyway, he opposed that ballot measure that would have established a right to an abortion. And when he got into the debates, he wouldn't say it. He would not answer whether or not he would sign a national abortion ban. You flip-flopping son of a bitch. Why would you vote for that? This one, we talked about it from the perspective of Kamala Harris. I believe that Russia invaded the sovereign nation of Ukraine. I believe that because I have a good friend that lives in Kyiv, Ukraine. I know this. I have seen the damage. And I understand how dangerous it is to just let Vladimir Putin have his way. Now, Kamala Harris has said that she is going to continue supporting Ukraine. Donald Trump, I didn't say it. I came very close. The orange shit stain has said they should make a deal. Oh? So Russia gets to take some of the shit they stole. What does Ukraine get to say is theirs and sovereign, and how the hell does that protect them going forward? In all of this, Zelensky, the country of Ukraine, are fighting hard to clean everything up there and become a member of NATO. Meanwhile, the orange shit stain does nothing but berate NATO. This shit is crazy. And if you think he's going to help, you're an idiot. I don't even really want to touch on this one because it is so black and white. But I'm going to do it anyway. Y'all remember the Muslim ban? Remember him talking about how he was going to ban Muslims coming in? Let's put that into perspective of the Israel-Gaza war. He has stated that he fully supports Israel and they can do whatever the hell they want to do and he's going to back them 100%. Where does that not scream, I hate Muslims and I don't want them having anything? That's what he wants. He will start with his Muslim ban. Now look at it in comparison there. I'm just going to let Bibi do whatever he wants to do because he's another dictator that I think I want to be. There's nothing more there than that, people. Healthcare. Let's talk about healthcare. We're going to see a new plan in the next week. We're going to see a new plan in the next couple of weeks. We're going to do away with this terrible Affordable Care Act. Nobody likes it. We've got a better plan. I'll tell you about it in a couple of weeks. That shit started in 2017. We still ain't heard this fucking plan. He still wants to do away with the Affordable Care Act. He criticizes the law, which, by the way, a lot of people rely on, but he would do away with it. How? How are you going to do that? There's no answers there. I can't vote for that. Let's move on to crime. I already know who Kamala Harris is. Kamala Harris is a long-time prosecutor, a long-time attorney general, always has been on the side of law and order to the point of being criticized for how strong she was. But somehow, the crime in America that is so high, which by the way it's not, it's on record lows, but oh well, I guess you don't fucking really read, Trumpers. But somehow, he's going to demolish the drug cartels, crush gang violence, and rebuild democratic cities because we just let it run to shit. Well, one, you're not going to do any of that. His ways of doing this are supposedly going to be bring the military in and attack the... That's called fucking war, people. Mr. Supposed, oh, these Democrats are such warmongers. You start shooting at people in another country, whether or not they're criminals, that's still an act of war, you dumb bastard. He can't do it legally. He wants to set up neighborhoods by just building police departments. In other words, he wants his own brown shirts. Isn't talking about restructuring police, isn't talking about how much of this is a psychological issue and we should be bolstering police with those people, but he wants to bring in a whole lot more Gestapo. Well, good for you. What a dumb fucking idea. I remember somebody else that did the same thing back, oh, I don't know, starting around 1939. And yeah, I do directly correlate you to that. Crime is down by 13% from when he was in office. That's all there is to it. Another big problem we have is the climate. It's real, people. Climate change is real. It's cost us tremendously. What he did was to strip away all kinds of environmental protections. We had limits on carbon dioxide emissions. We had that with vehicles, protections for federal waterways. Just wiped them out. And now, by the way, they're getting far more polluted. By the way, we have far more greenhouse gases while he was in office pouring up there. We have a much bigger climate problem. But he's going to just pull away more regulations. And his supposed reason for doing this is to help the car industry. Environmental changes, environmental regulations has helped the car industry. Are we 100% there yet? No, we're not. But we are getting there. At this point, how many of you haven't considered an electric vehicle? I have. I know I can't afford one right now. But as we go along, that technology is going to become cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And it is cleaner. It doesn't have a perfect green footprint, but it's still a better way to go. It certainly stops putting all of that shit into the air that's causing the biggest part of the problem. He wants to do away with offshore wind farms. Let's think about that for a moment. I want you to go out. I'm not even going to tell you. I know the number. I've even got it written down right here. I know the number. Go out there and look at how many kilowatt hours are created from wind and solar energy right now. Then look at what it was 20 years ago. Then look at the dip that occurred while a certain orange shit stain was in office. These are realities. These are absolute realities. These are things that make a difference. These are the reasons why not to vote for him. Every goddamn thing he touches turns to shit and dies, and he's going to do the same thing to this nation. Don't let it happen. Are you ready? We've got Monday, Tuesday. Oh, we're 3 days away from the election. Make up your damn mind if you haven't. And make up your damn mind the right way. And if you're going in on Tuesday, you make damn sure you stand in that line forever, however long you have to. Call Monday and make sure that your voter registration is valid. Also, understand that anytime there's a problem, you may ask for a provisional ballot, and those must be counted if there is no real problem with your voting status. You need to do it, people. We can't lose this one. We cannot lose it. I know you will. I have total faith in you. But I also have total faith in the way they're going to lie, cheat, and try to stop us. Don't let it happen. We're in this fight. We've only got a few more days to fight. Everybody on the line, we need you now. All right. I did a different thing, and it kind of helped on the YouTube channel, because the YouTube channel will help me personally. So, if you like what I have to say, please view this on YouTube, and I'm going to make it harder for you to view it anywhere else. View it on YouTube, like, and subscribe. It will make a difference. I appreciate that. I love you for that. Once again, our mentor, kind of our founder, John Brideveau, is home. That pleases me no end. And I've met and hugged the man and broken bread with him a couple of times, and that means the world to me. So, I'm going to close this on this positive note and tell you all, I need you to share this shit.